This is stupid. We can't flip the damn thing yet. So I don't know how to do that yet. It's a brand new phone. So the pictures are clear, but we can't make it go horizontal or YouTube yells at us. Look at Carl. He has a new shirt. It matches his hat nicely. And new jeans. Where's the sunglasses you bought for $1 million? Complete the look. That's right, people. This is Carl gone cash. Why do you look like a rock star?
Because with the exception of the sunglasses, I mostly let my American girlfriend dress me.
No, but you have horizon issues.
Yeah, everything here is flat. So you have a low sun, particularly in the mornings. The locals don't seem to mind. They just squint a little bit. Very few of them use sunglasses. But they're probably using them when they're driving. But when they're walking around, what little walking they do, they're not using them.
So what happened last week? I was going to post some, we did some offline footage, but I haven't been able to post it yet because that would require actually working on my vacation. So no, I'll do it later though. But we had issues. Our net service, anyway, I think this is a little crooked. Our net service in Norway didn't like switching. Oh, that was even worse. Let's go back this way again. There. No, our net service in Norway, this is so hard to hold it like this. Okay. Net service in Norway said, you're using up bandwidth really quickly now, even though I didn't turn it on until right before we were going to film. But then it said you have used 80% already, so you need to add some more. So I added more. And I did this actually 30 minutes before we started, and then it didn't go through. Well, I mean, it went through, but it took like 3 hours to activate. So when it canceled, then I added more. So there I am with 2 days left, and I had like almost 20 gigabytes to use. So we started downloading apps. Anyway, that's what happened. We got disconnected. And then, so this time we're filming from my mom's house. I can look out a window and show you what Duluth looks like, but we'll just keep posting some pictures. And then, but that at least we won't go offline. So there is ZZ Top stand-in. That's you. Everybody's got it.
I got it.
Oh, no, you have to wear shades. Anyway, okay. So now that we're in my mom's house, first we'll go look out the window because then you can see what it looks like. If I can find one that, I don't know if you can see the harbor from here. But my mom, oh yeah, no, you can. You can hear some kids screaming down there because they're playing golf. There's Lake Superior. Can I zoom? Yeah. But on the other side down there, that's actually Superior, Wisconsin. But look at the trees. It's not the best seeing it through. Oops. Oh my God, this really focuses on the screen. Okay. But there you can see the trees are changing big time. And there's a lot more maple and oak up here. I wonder if I can see it down below. There's some there. That's cute. It advertises a macro lens on this thing that it's supposed to be better at taking pictures, but I didn't expect it to focus on the screen. Supposedly we're having a little bit of weather today. We may or may not go sailing on Lake Superior on my friend's boat. Good to have friends, but if it's crappy or windy, then we might not because that's big open water. So there you got some more. Okay. And another thing, just gotta say hi to everybody first, but another thing, we're in my mom's house. Look at the quilts. Gonna have to show those off. I'm coming home with 1 million of them, as many that will fit in my bag. They're coming home with me. I wonder if you can see the trees through. Okay, anyway. So we'll sit down and we'll catch up. Have a seat, Carl, so I don't trip over you. Okay. And hold that. Because my mom made me a shawl, too. Because my mommy loves me. Isn't it nice? I'm wearing it all wrong. It's like super long. There we go. It's a Stephen West shawl. I'm going to be warm. It's not even cold here yet. We did get hit with a blast of heat wave, and then everybody told when we first arrived. But that was in St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And then, what was your experience there, Carl?
every American felt the need to come up to me and tell me it's unseasonably hot.
We're very proud of our cold weather here. So if it's hot, we have to apologize. Okay, so then we'll look through. Actually, I have a computer next to me so I can see this a little bit better. Okay, so Albert's here. Audra's here. It's 10 degrees in water. She says 6 degrees in air in Trondheim, middle of Norway. So a little bit colder than here. Peter made a comb for Albert. That's quite cool, based on the find from Rogaland. I think I saw him posting that on his social media. Pete, that is.
Peter Merritt.
Peter Merritt, yeah. Yep. The one likes to work with bones and shoes. Not necessarily bone shoes.
Yeah, no. It's good.
Yeah. He was on new to, Audra says she has a few things from him as well. He was on YouTube podcast not so long ago. It was nice to hear from him. Yeah, he was here for it was probably about a year ago or so when we had, the last time we had a market. We're not having a market this year, unfortunately. We lost most of our parking spaces to electric car things and space and everything. There's all kinds of issues anyway, but he was here last year for the market. Anyway, I think he popped in and said hi for a second. Garcia is here. And much more, she writes. Albert says, talk with him often. Yeah, you can find him on Facebook, actually, and he'll chat you up and show you all the things he makes. Anne Moreau is here. Karl, how does the American beer that you've been tasting? He's been going local, though. There's just too much compared to the Belgian.
It's so much of it. I found one brand I really liked, and the rest is mostly good, but nothing to call home about.
Nothing to call home about, so the Belgians don't have to be worried?
The Belgians should worry a little bit about that particular
brand?
That particular brand, but not a lot.
What about the Lithuanians? Do they need to be worried?
No, this is far beneath Lithuanian standards.
You brought one, actually, and it's 11 o'clock in the afternoon in Minnesota. But is that too early for you to have a beer?
No, I don't think so.
Because now we're indoors. So, okay, we'll go get your...
I'm on vacation. I can drink whenever I feel like it, I guess.
Go get your beer. I'll keep reading. Let's see. Samantha is here. Oh, I saw some... I think it was socks that Samantha posted. They were really quite cool. Something Samantha posted in about a week or two ago. I finally saw... Howdy from Missouri. PJ says, evening from drizzly England. It's raining there. It rained a little bit yesterday here. That little miniature golf course across the street, I made Karl golf. We took pictures of the scoreboard and everything. You can judge later. I'll post them up on Facebook later today. I was going to do it last night, but I fell asleep. Anyhow, but you don't need to be a friend on my Facebook. I only friend people that I've met, really, because then they can see my kids' photos and things. But if you're following, it's just like being a friend, because most of the stuff I post is public anyway, like Gudvangen and this. So I'll put pictures up anyway, and you can see little things like the cover photo. We went to a couple of antique shops and I found zombie babies. One of them's even eating his own foot. So I thought, what a perfect cover for our thumbnail today. So we have zombie babies. Happy Halloween. That's right. America celebrates already. We arrived here with the 26th of September, and they already had their Halloween decorations up. What slays me, though, is they have Halloween Christmas lights. You can buy purple and orange Christmas lights. So I'm like absolutely flabbergasted by this, because I only see Christmas lights at Christmas time. So this is so strange. And then my friend Terry says, oh no, imagine if you get the multicolored ones so that you can change it so that you don't have to put them up. You just change them to white and such for Christmas. And then when Valentine's comes around, just change them to red and pink. And you can just keep going. Yellow for Easter, Christmas lights for all season. Okay, let's see what you got there, Karl. Matthew Hames is here from Egan. 56 there. Okay, that's probably about a little bit warmer than what it is here. It's not freezing anyway. We're actually quite surprised by how warm it is. Duluth is beautiful. Thank you, Arlene. Yeah, she's up in Winnipeg, so she sees. We went down to Canal Park, which, by the way, fun to be a tourist in your own city. But I remember it being a very artsy district, so I was a little disappointed when the first 3 shops I went to looked like something you could find on Daytona Beach. But they replaced Daytona with Duluth, so that was a little disappointing. But every shop after that was much better, because then you start getting in the art stuff. There's one where they're blowing glass right in front of you and making pumpkins. And there's several buildings or spaces where artists get together and have their own little gallery. And there was some of the Do-It Sites building, which was nice to see. And then, of course, we went to Father Time, the Antiques. Went to Grandma's Sports, not Grandma's Sports Garden, but Grandma's Saloon, which is really good food. We had chicken and wild rice soup. How did you like that? That was your first one? Cream of chicken and wild rice soup?
Yeah, no, we were expecting, it was just 2 hours before dinner.
Yeah, we were
So
gonna.
we were expecting like a small bowl of soup, like a starter. And I think it also was on the starter part of the menu.
It was in the starter part. That's why I ordered it there. I was expecting this little Bridgman-sized bowl.
But that bowl of soup is like one big meal for me.
It is huge.
Yep.
It was like, I've got pictures. I'll post. Anyway, Karl there happily enjoying his first chicken and wild rice soup. But how did you like the wild rice? I don't know if you've had that before. You can get it in Norway. It's just expensive as hell and not easy to find.
I didn't notice anything special about the rice, but the soup as a soup was very good.
Yeah, it's a little nutty like. And then we went to the Marine Museum, which you would have loved to see more, you said. However, the bonus was I forgot it was free to go in there. That was nice.
No, they have very neat little models of
Lakers
ships.
and and salties.
But there is like
Here, hold this
one section of the museum is for basically ships on the lake, and one little section is for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers that kind of has their headquarters right next to the building. But it is so few artifacts and so many posters to read that this is a museum that might as well have been a book, basically.
Oh, I could have. Yeah, there is a lot of, a little bit on the Edmund Fitzgerald, actually. I thought there would have been more. There we go. Now I can see the chat on my computer. But yeah, it was free anyway, which was quite cool. There we go. And then you got to see, well, the aerial lift bridge. What did you think of that?
It's a cool bridge.
Yeah.
But
we're very proud of that. Don't Max, don't Hawk. You better be nice with this review.
Well, basically, it's a bridge where you lift up the entire midsection of the bridge. So a normal drawbridge maybe goes like this. This one goes.
And back in the day, it would just ferry you back and forth from one bar to the other. But now it goes across. It used to be we were only 2 in the world. The one in Paris, which we modeled, ours is modeled after, and then not Paris, but France anyway. That ours is modeled after, but now I think you can find some more lift bridges around. Oh, I can. It's actually holding the spot on my chat. I like that on the phone. I didn't see that before. Then we walked to the end of the pier where you got to see a bit of more of what Duluth looks like from the water level.
Yeah, and kind of nice little lighthouse from 1909.
Yeah, you checked it. Yeah, we didn't go to the other one. We just went to the first one. We were going to walk over the bridge, but we were running low on time, and I decided to relive the story about how some lady got stuck on the bridge. I don't think she was playing with a full deck. I think there was some issues with her mental stability, but she was walking over the bridge, and then the bells go off because it's going to go up. Freaks out. It goes up, and well, usually you just kind of sit down and hang on for the ride, but this one went full-blown panic mode and jumped straight off the side and into the gears. So we didn't walk over the bridge. No, that was something tragic. That happened like 20, 30 years ago, 25 years ago maybe. But
I think they've gotten better at checking that.
They've got better at checking that, way better at that now. There's cameras everywhere. The guy has to come out of the little building now to take a look. And then we walked under the lift bridge, and I still see it is possible if you're an idiot to hang on to the bottom of the bridge. And there were a few incidents of kids trying to hang on to it while the bridge went up, which is stupid as hell. And of course, they broke some bones, but nothing worse than that, luckily, because nobody can hang on for long. So great looking bridge, but people can be stupid. Let's see, what else did we do? We went. We didn't allow enough time down at the. Oh. My Minnesota was showing. There's a little water fountain down there where like this Aquaman looking kind of guy starts spitting water into the pond or into a little pool, and then there's a couple of fish, and they're all made of copper. But I noticed it was empty, and there was some people working on it, and I said, "Oh, look, the waterfall! I forgot, or the water fountain. I forgot that this was here."
I think my girlfriend just referred to the god Neptune as an Aquaman-looking kind of guy.
I did. Is that who it was? It was Neptune? I'm going to do it on purpose. Every time now I see Neptune, I'm going to say it's Aquaman. He looks kind of like Guido from Star Trek or Star Wars too. Anyway, so they were working on the pool, but it's October now, so duh. Anyway, so the water is out of it, but I noticed there's little stops, or there's old traffic signs sitting on the lights at the bottom of the thing, and I was commenting as we were walking by. I said, "Oh, look, they've got little road signs down there. That's an interesting choice to put in an aquatic display." And then, of course, Minnesota, if they hear you're passing by conversation, they'll just join right in, whether they know you or not. So the guy's working on it. Oh, Karl just about died. He said my Minnesota was showing.
Yeah, but that was because of what you said to the guy.
Well, first the guy said, "Winter's coming, don't you know?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, for sure." So there you go. Of course, they're covering it for winter.
So when we get her back home to Norway, she's going to be a full-blown extra for Fargo.
Yeah, no, that was fun. But there was much more to see than we thought down there, so we ended up going back the next day. And then you got to explore the skywalk system. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's a good idea. For some places in Norway where it's really cold, something similar might be well,
Hold on a minute.
you can maybe see the start of something like that in Flora, for instance, for them, because there you have at least 2 shopping centers that are connected with one of those. But in downtown Duluth, every building is connected by those. So you basically don't have to go out at all. You can just walk like on the second floor. Throughout all the buildings are kind of sewn together.
We walked we only walked a part of it, but I told him when we came out onto street level, it's kind of hard to hold this back like that. They said, look that way. And when we came out on street level, and you can see there's at least 6 skywalks crossing that way. And then I'll look that way, and there's about 3 or more crossing over the street. And when you look up the street, there's more crossing from building to building. And then we ended up walking a bit more of it to go and meet my mom. So let's just say my iPhone fitness thing was very happy with me, and we only walked a little bit of it, and even part of it that goes underground, which, so you got a little taste of that. One thing I didn't expect is we popped out on street level to go, just to show, I was showing Karl where I used to work at for a little while. It's Duluth Camera Exchange, which is also part of, I actually worked for True North Color Lab, but that's part of Duluth Camera Exchange. My friend's family owns it. And I worked there for about 3 years right before I left. And so we just go to knock on the door, and it's locked. And I thought, well, okay. But then we walk around the side, and this dog starts yipping. A little bit of white hair starts showing as someone comes to the door. And I said, "Oh, white hair in that store. I bet they probably know. I might know who that is, because that means they would have been there 30 years ago." Sure enough, it's my friend's parents. So then they opened the door, and lots of hugs and everything. It was really nice to meet them. I'm glad you got to meet them too. But it was happy to see that they're still working, that they're still doing the business. So there you go. If you have really, really old negatives, big negatives, old negatives, and you wanted them photo finished onto photo paper, everything the way they used to do, then they can actually take copy negatives if you have an old photo you want recreated. They still do that. You can still get it done. Not everything is digital these days, so that's quite cool. What else did we... Oh, we went to a million different restaurants. We went to Sam's Club, and then my friend, of course, we're in our 50s now, we said, we have to go and meet up or something. What would you like to do? We can go anywhere. And he's like, what if we you want to go to Costco? So there we are going to Costco shopping and having a pizza, and the thing was huge, and it was actually kind of fun because you could just see all the stuff. But what did you think of Sam's Club and Costco? That's a concept you might have to explain for those who don't know what that is.
I barely understand what it is myself. You have some kind of membership deal.
Yep, I think you pay a
then you buy,
yearly fee.
then you shop in a big store that basically has every category under the world in a warehouse, stacked floor to ceiling.
Well, yeah, home and kitchen, I think. So it's got everything from food to interior. Actually, no, one of them had a snowblower.
And TVs and snowblowers, and every shop in America has their own little Halloween corner nowadays. The Costco one had Very nice werewolf.
It was huge. It was a huge werewolf. It made Carl look really short. It was that. But then we're just driving now, even more and more Halloween decorations coming out. So one of my new favorite ones, I don't remember ever seeing these before, but they're like 10-foot tall skeletons and werewolves and I don't know, wraiths of some sort. But there's a big 10-foot tall skeleton walking his big 5-foot skeletal dog. That was one of the cooler ones I saw. By the way, Nella says they're seasonal lights, not Christmas lights. Okay, I can buy into that. Let's see. I was gonna say, what else did you try on the menu? Was there anything new? My mom made you breaded pork chops.
Yeah, but that's okay. We bread things. We have done that ourselves.
I just don't do that in my house. It's too much work.
We haven't done it with pork chops, but it's not like it's rocket surgery to do it.
No, it was good. What else did you have? Did you have? Oh, you had chicken and waffles. That was a weird combo.
Yeah, that was a bad combo.
Oh, we drove up the North Shore. That's where we got that, actually. We drove up the North Shore to as far as Silver Bay, so Carl could get a better view of the lake. What do you think of the lake?
It's a big lake, but
it's huge. We're proud of that lake. Watch yourself, boy.
It's smaller than the North Atlantic.
But that's an ocean. This is fresh water.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, and then on the way up, we go through 2 harbors, and there's a big, yep, I called it a cock. It's a rooster. Raymond is really excited. So we, there was a big rooster, which I forgot that was even there. Then we go a little further up to Beaver Bay, and there's a big beaver. And then we get just before Silver Bay, there was a really big Indian head and a really big Voyager. Pierre the Voyager. There you go. See, Raymond's getting all giggly now.
That really big.
So we had a big cock and a big beaver. If you went to Bemidji, you would have had a big Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. But
everything should be really big in America. That seems to be the theme. So we are having a little bit of a refrigerator problem. We'll have to donate a lot of iced coffee.
Oh yeah, explain your iced coffee issues. We might be a little bit long this week, but on YouTube. But yeah, your iced coffee. It was not a matter of having any difficult finding any, but there were different strengths, and there's some DIY iced coffee too, apparently.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that was DIY, do it yourself. But,
no, it's apparently it was iced espresso.
It might not be meant to be, but it turned out to work very well.
They're huge bottles.
They have the type of iced coffee that I call cold brew. That is basically very strong cold coffee with no sweetener. But if you use that as a base and you add the local coffee creamers that all the old women are so excited about, you get very good iced coffee.
Didn't used to be, and I used to not use creamers in my coffee at all. But then my mom showed me about 20 years. Oh, look, they've got flavored creamers, but now they come in shampoo-sized bottles.
I brought one bear to drink and one bear to talk about.
Okay, show us the one you're in.
This is the drinkable one. This is the brand that the Belgians should worry a little bit about.
That one was, my little brother liked that one too. There's a coffee version of it as well.
Yeah.
Dragon's Milk and Dragon's Coffee Stout, I think. We got a lot of chat to catch up on too, by the way.
It's basically a stout, but it's been in bourbon barrels. So it has kind of probably infused with a little bit more alcohol. It's 11% as is, which puts it in the top category of strength. And the other one, the one I was just going to talk about.
That's a Christmas tree back there. Mom's prepared. Doesn't have all his branches on it, though. Oh! The Utepils!
Yeah. This is...
I gotta turn it around here. Let's see. Utepils. Skulsh. That's not exactly a Norwegian word, but why did you like the idea of Utepils?
No, it's the Norwegian word for drinking outside.
And Norwegian word means outdoor beer or pils anyway, a kind of beer. And European style brewing, but this one is crisp and clean blonde ale. Did you try this one?
No.
And that one's from Minneapolis, Minnesota. You also had let's see, we'll turn that there. Turn that back. You also had St. Paul Adam or St. No. There's St. Paul beer, Samuel Adams. You had, what other kinds did you try? Beers.
Oh, I don't know. We bought like 4 variety packs of bear. And in the variety packs, there are like a lot of bears, but 4 of each. So we gave 3 to her brother and kept 1 for ourselves, so we could test them. But it's...
I should decorate my mom's tree for Halloween. I might do that.
But this, for instance, I'm not that interested. There isn't going to be any big surprises in how this tastes. I don't
No.
think.
So which one are you going to have now then?
The dragon's milk,
Oh,
of
the
course.
Dragon's Milk. Oh, there was another one. Bent Paddle. You seem to really like.
Yeah, Bent Paddle.
Bent Paddle's a Duluth beer. Sorry.
They're
Oh,
generally bitter and go well with food, but there are 3, I think, different versions of Bent Paddle I've tasted have all been good. Nothing super good. This is in the super good category.
So it's 6 p.m. in Norway, so you can drink it now if you want. You know, it's up
do you
to
have anything to open it with?
You'd have to go and scavenge the drawers. It's all the horizontal
So
drawers.
unusual not to
Go
be
up there.
enough.
I'm gonna show off Mom's house. Then we're gonna catch up on chat. By the way, I also saw a comment in there. Are you gonna go check out Glensheen Mansion? We thought about it. It is a very short trip. We're less than a week here, so I don't think we're gonna make it in.
I lost it twice.
We drove past it a couple, yeah, so he could see it. But also, they're Jaybird Films, or Jaybird Studios, yes, Jaybird's Films. It's on my Facebook a little further down. They did a run through of the village where they filmed. Like they're going through the village in one continuous shot, and it's really quite cool. But it turns out that they are also students from UMD, or were once upon a time. So they had the one that we... They sent us a video, an idea of what they were going to do so that we could get an idea before filming this. And the video that they took was a run through Glensheen Mansion. So you can find them on YouTube. I think it's Jaybird's Films, and look up the one for Glensheen Mansion. It's really quite cool. So Karl got a little idea of what it looks like on the inside, but I think we're going to have to explore the murder mysteries a bit more I don't know if he's read those, but and then we'll have to save that one for a future trip. Okay, so going to flip the camera. Mom does a lot of cross stitch. This is actually sewing, I just realized. This is quilting that's pieced. If you see the little wings and everything are all pieced on there. And then top stitch. Hopefully we won't have too much shine from light. Mom makes lots of stuff, so we got lots of stuff to show. Mom made that doll a long time ago. There's one down here. I made that one about 20 years ago for my mom. And then we got more cross stitch here. Oh, shawl. Can't miss the shawls. That's probably Stephen West. She's a huge fan. She just started the new one. There's another one. I think that's got about three clues out that she just started. So these are all cross stitch. Would you believe it? This is cross stitch. Look close. Isn't that insane? I don't know how she does it. I can barely finish a 2 square inch, but that is cross stitch. Then she's got little ones too. Gotta have these everywhere. They're in, and she's got hardanger. That's gonna be a one-off. She said she did one and she'll probably never do it again. She entered it in the Minnesota State Fair. But unfortunately, the year that she entered it in the Minnesota State Fair, the lady in Minnesota who wrote the book about hardanger was also competing. So that lady, of course, got first prize, but my mom got second. Then there's more quilts hiding underneath there. Lots of quilts. Then, I think this is a new one. They just haven't hung it yet. They have to find a spot. This is also really quite cool. Let's see if we turn the camera there. It's so cool. It's kind of like a quilt, kind of like stained glass in a way, but tiny, tiny, tiny cross stitching. Then, let's see. Oops. This is that gem work. My mom has a thing for hedgehogs. So if you can see what they are, they're kind of hedgehogs floating through the air, though. But this is that diamond. Oh crap! What do you call it? Diamond dot thing, anyway. But it's a bit like cross stitch, but you put in these little gem thingies that are sticky. And then here's another one. That one also took me by surprise. I didn't realize it was cross stitch as I came up the stairs, but it is. That's the Minnesota state bird, by the way, the loon. Let's see, there's some more. Mom has a sewing room. Stash, I love it. This is one I think I sent her from Norway. And you go to thrift shops in Norway and they have lots of these because people are, I guess, tired of looking at them after all these years. But my mom made one of these in the 70s and it was, I remembered it. So I got her this one, which I liked, and she has both of them hanging on the wall. A lot of work in those. More quilts. This one is pieced on the top there. How's your beer, Carl?
It's very good.
Diamond painting thing, 5D painting. Nella knows what it is. Okay. There was also a question in there I saw that Max wrote about, oh, that one down there is also cross stitching. It's a little scenic. She likes crows. Crows and hedgehogs, those are the things. That whole bag is full of my mom's stash yarn, or my mom's leftover yarn. So yeah, it's coming home with me. Another quilt she's working on there. This is a temperature blanket in here. And it's kind of like that 3D one where if you hold it up this way, it has one look. And then when you hold it down, it has another. That's kind of hard to film like that, maybe. Let's see. More quilting. Oh yeah, there's quilting there too. But more quilting. This one has little buttons on it. We're going to have to hold some of these out. And Karl with a beer who can test the front microphone on the new phone. Does it? Oh, hold up the beer. Is it good?
This is very good beer.
Very good beer. There you go.
The cognac taste is coming through so much that my brain is actually confused on whether I'm drinking a beer or I'm drinking a cognac in a mug.
Mm. Oh, I like Anne Morrow, right, by the way. My mom does it with a lot of patience on those stitches, yeah. And PJ says, I need a magnifying glass to see those stitches. There's another one she's working on, too. They just look like paintings. Let's see. This is all the places they've been to and around the world. My mom is a cruiser. So Europe is a complete mess of flags. Here's another one. More cross-stitching. Let's see. This is Sulan from Sulan and Ludwig. He's a crow and he's part of a claymation kind of thing from, is it claymation anyway, from Norway? But she just wanted the crow, so she made that. That I made with her stash yarn long time ago, her leftover yarn. That's just a crochet pillow thing, and you just kind of do whatever stitch you want in random colors. You could needle bind one of these, actually. And if you're not sure how to put the circle on, oh, actually I did. I just appliqued it on. So that's pretty easy to make, and it's a great way to waste your extra small pieces of yarn, especially the fun yarn. And in the bottom you can see, whoops, turn it the other way. Let's see, there we go. You can see little buttons that you can stick in there. I like the idea of decorating my mom's tree before we go with Halloween. I forget this guy's name. He's a little critter. Creature, I think his name is anyway, but my mom made a couple of these. He is made with Noro, or I think it's Noro yarn, but it's beautiful, beautiful colors. Then we go to the room that we're fortunately staying in. Quilt, big quilt. More quilt. More cross stitch. Kids in the background you can hear are playing, let's see if I go this way, you can see it better. Miniature golf. So you can read that later if you want. It's kind of cute though. More cross stitch here. Lots of them. Some of these I remember when she was working on them. It's just kind of fun. And then samplers and more quilts. We can get Karl in here later. We can pull out some of these quilts. She's got lots and lots. And I shouldn't have blocked the door to the closet with my luggage because there's even more behind there. I think that green one's coming home with me. Come here, Karl. I'm going to abuse you if you can still walk straight. More stitching. Frog. Karl found an antique book called Guns of the World from 1972. It'll either come home or he'll bring it back. We'll see. More cross stitching. The gentle art of a needlewoman lies embodied in her work, and it's got her name, Diane Nyman. And then it brought this in 2020.
This book.
This was a COVID project, I believe she said. Yeah?
This book only costs me $4.50. And the one thing I want from it is there is like 2 pages with proof marks
Yeah?
for every country in Europe.
Go ahead and
at least.
open it.
So it's like a collector's guide, but made in 1972. So yeah, there you have Denmark. So basically Danish guns.
How do you feel about this book then?
There are some cool elements to it, but all the information in it, except for the proof mark list, is things I can easily find on the internet.
Ah, okay.
So
Well, you know, internet in 1972 looked like that.
Yeah.
I was born in 1972, that should tell you. I'll be 52 next week, or Monday. I'll be 52 on Monday. Tomorrow. Holy crap. Okay. Okay, you're going to help me with quilts in a minute here. Raggedy Ann! Apparently, my mom informs me that my Raggedy Ann doll went suddenly missing because I gave it makeup and a haircut. So suddenly it went missing, but I was remembering, oh, I remember those. Where's Raggedy Ann and Andy? So my mom made me a new one. This one's going to have to make it in my luggage somehow. We'll figure it out. My mom used to make a crap ton of Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. She likes making Raggedy Ann over Andy because Andy is more work because he's a boy doll. But anyway, she made tons of these, and I remember she would sell them and to make a little extra cash. Oh, this is another pretty one. That is also cross stitch, and it's got little sparkles in it too. Angels with wings, or fairy, I mean. Then another one of these pieces. This is that, I want to call it cluster sting, but I don't know exactly what that is. And more, she made lots and lots of COVID projects. This is all out of sock yarn. This is knit. It's got little sparkle, little other things. It's just a chevron pattern, but it looks so cool together. And then got to do some crochet too. So this is one huge granny square or mosaic. And then, let's see. Oh, we'll put Annie there. This one is about, I have to look that one up a little bit closer. We are living in the tomorrow for which they wrought 2020. And it's the names from Cape Cod. Oh, these are people. Mary Allerton, Ellen Billington, Dorothy Bradford, Mary Brewster, Carrie Carver. Anyway, you can keep looking at that later. There's another one. I remember when she was making this about 10 years ago. There's a bunny! Raymond! More bunnies, Raymond! How many bunnies do you see? It's already tomorrow where he's from, so happy birthday, says Raymond, I hope. Yeah. Okay, that means Karl has a birthday too. Karl? Did he go downstairs? I have to have him show. Okay, we'll do it this way then. We'll do it without him. Let's see, if I put this here, then I can show a quilt. There we go. I have to take this one home. The color is just stunning. So not my favorite green color, but when you put it all together, look at that thing. All the pieces. This is a log cabin style. So if you don't know what, oops, sorry, this is tilting a little funny. If you don't know what log cabin is, and in quilting these are when the blocks go like that. Actually, it might not be, yeah, they overlap a little bit. That's probably a log cabin anyway, unless I'm wrong, someone's gonna kill me. And then you have these, and it starts out with one square, but when you put the squares together in different directions, you get a kaleidoscope effect, which is quite cool. Karl, you want to put up another one? I think he's in the little kids' room. These are batiks, the one on the wall here. Batiks is a dyeing method. You can get it. We used to, I think my mom probably got these when we were in Hawaii. But you can see how they make them anyway. They're like, this is sun dyeing, I think they call it. But a lot of them are batiks.
Isn't batik just making knots on things and then coloring them?
No, that's something different. No, this is a batik fabric where I think where it's dyed, where putting leaves are, it's a dyeing method anyway. I have to look that one up because I'll say it incorrectly. But she took all the little pieces of samples of batiks that we got in Hawaii and made that. Can you put another blanket out? I can't call it a blanket, oh my God. I called it a blanket, it's a quilt. Mom's gonna kill me.
I just need to put my mug down.
There.
This is probably the fastest I've ever drunk an 11% beer. So.
Did you finish your whole beer?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, grab the first one, put it down, we have to see. Then my kids get to pick out which ones I bring back too. So Carl's working over here, working hard. Oh, this will be fun. I think I saw a carrot. Raymond, you could be in good shape here. I do actually have we'll go over for time for sure. I have a needle binding stitch of the month. It's going to be, and God knows if I can pronounce it, but it was a Russian, I think 1+1+3. But I did it a little different. Oh yeah, there's lots of bunnies on this one. Geez, Raymond's having a good week here. Look at all the bunnies. So if you don't know, Raymond's Instagram is Prime Bunny. Okay, grab the next one, Carl, so you're ready to go. These are all appliqued on, whereas the rest is...
This looks more like frog and fish.
Sorry, it's going a little quickly sometime. Bunnies and carrots. Yeah, no, Raymond's having a field day over there. And don't forget a crow. Oh, frogs. I love frogs. So I'm sideways. Okay, you can get the next one ready. We got a lot to go through. Because I still have to do the stitch of the month. Yeah, I did mine F2 connection and I did not do the plaited edge because the plaited edge drives me nuts when I'm making certain things because the end row is always kind of curled up.
So are you seriously going to go through every quilt in this house?
No, just these, and then we got to get back to other stuff. And I'm totally ignoring chat. I got to do it. My mom makes these, yeah. This is what my mom does. And then, she's a workaholic as well.
This one was nice.
This one's really nice. Oh, Karl found one that he wants to take home. My mom said I had to leave at least one king-size quilt at home so that she could cover this bed. Okay. And then grab the next one, Karl. It's really quite bright. I like it. Okay. It's the only time I get to show off all my mom's quilts. I have a lot at home, but I told her next time I go, I'm going to fill my suitcases to the brim. And I even got, my mom actually told me about this one. I never thought about that, but air tags. I've got air tags to put in my bags, so if they go the wrong way, they will find their way home. I will know. So if you're thinking about stealing my bags at the airport for my mom's quilts, I'm on to you. Okay, one more quilt I think to show, and then I blocked off the closet. You're lucky you don't have to pull all those out. There's like 20 quilts in the closet behind us. I don't know which is right on that. The pastel side? Yeah, it is. That's the back. There you go. If you're a shabby chic fan, this is going to be one for you. So lots of... I have a good mom. Okay, so then... We're not even going on the first floor. There's too much. But then we should play with Stitch of the Month.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time for me to sneak off for a cigarette.
Carl's going to go and sneak off for a cigarette so I can do Stitch of the Month. But I just have to get set up. Can you bring that chair over here? Because otherwise you can't see hands. And then take the padding off of it. And you can take this beer bottle downstairs with you. He drank it all. Just take the padding off, or if it can flip up, so I can sit on the chair. You finished it. Okay, there you go. You can clean that up.
These are great.
These are great, he said.
I would have them in Monopoly order them in.
You will? Yeah?
If they're trying to be difficult about it, I'll just remind them who pays their bloody salary.
Okay, so Karl's got plans to pick on the Vinmonopol to get those ordered into Norway, those dragon's milk things. Okay, I'm not sure if I can get this blanket to stay up so that I can... Oh, I didn't show this one either. This one's really cool. This is also sock yarn, or let's wait even. If you look, there's one white that goes through, it was always being held with one color, and some of it is a little mohair like, and some of it isn't. And then she does this I-cord cast on and bind off so that it has a nice edge to it. I saw that James was trying to do something similar to that in needle binding. I didn't get to get a good look, but she did it all the way around anyway. It makes a nice firm edge. But this one is, I think, what she calls the crayon blankets, because when you do one color white with one with the white and one with color, you get a crayon effect, kind of like somebody scribbled. Or maybe it's called scribbling. Oops. But I'm going to use this blanket to hold this pad up so I can needle bind. Okay, there we have. I think we have a shift thing here. Oh, there's James on there. Yeah, Karin and Karl, I'm working on a new technique called Powhatan cordage. Okay, then I wonder if that might be a bit what I was looking at. Okay. Yeah, Max was wondering if there was any null-bound fragments from Korea and Japan around certain parts of the countries. I have to see more of the chat, but I'm hoping maybe Nella could answer that one, because I actually don't know that. What I'd have said, Ann Decker has this little interactive map. So this, that you could probably look at. This is some hand-dyed yarn that made it into my mom's stash. This is a massive amount, but it's thinner. So I'm going to, I could make a lot out of it, but I'm going to have to use at least finish 2 plus 2. If I were to make something, let's see, it's like this. But that's why the color of the month is burgundy, because I'm biased and I'm going with the color I'm using right now, and I really wanted to play with this yarn. So this is what I'm making so far. And you can see it has a nice, but I'm not doing a plaited edge. So the name of the stitch that I linked, yeah, there you go. Raymond's got on there, stitch of the months. He's got all of them on there. January was Arboga. Oops, there we go. February was Ulu. March was Broden. April was Dalarna. May was Dalby. June was Danish. July was Omani. August is York. September was Finnish 2 plus 2. That would be a good one for this. October is not, yeah, which is October now. Russian 1 plus 1 plus 2. But the name of the stitch, Vehmasjärvi or whatever, I'm not remembering it correctly and pronouncing it correctly, but it is a plaited one. This is not a plaited edge that I did here. I'll show you the difference. And they did F1 in that one, and I'm doing F2 because I wanted it to be a bit more dense. So mine is a little bit adjusted, and maybe next week I'll try one with the plaited edge in F1 so we can compare. But the way this is, because I have not increased, this is just, I think, I don't know how many stitches around, and I kept going and going, but it's actually, as long as I start as long as where I end with my string, I attach the next yarn on so that it continues in the same way it did on the skein. If I keep track of that, then these colors kind of line up. If it wasn't perfectly lined up, it would start doing this, which is like kind of goes diagonal. It all depends on how many stitches you have. But it was kind of cool the way these line up. Although in this next row, I'm going to be increasing because this is going to be wrist warmers. See if I can get that on with all the rings on. I'll make mine from bottom up because if it's too many stitches on the bottom, it just sits higher up on my arm. But because it's coming to right here now, I will start to increase just on this side until I get to my thumb. Just one each, I think, 1 row each, or 1 increase each row on this side. And the way I know which side this is because I like to put my start edge, that little jog, pointing out. It's just a thing. You don't have to do it that way, but that's what I do. So I'll increase 1 stitch each row here. If it's so dense, sometimes 2, but I think 1 will do because there's plenty of movement here. And then when I get to here, I'll skip for a thumb row and go up to here. And then sometimes I'll pick up and do 1 quick row around there so that it kind of stabilizes. Because a lot of wrist warmers that just have a gap there, they will get worn here and here quickly. So that's why I like to put 1 row to go around it. But the stitch is quite cool. So this is the right side, and this is the wrong side. I like that it kind of looks like, well, it actually doesn't look too much different on the wrong side versus the right. But I like that it has these bold cords going through, and it almost looks like braiding in between. But like for the 3rd time or 15th time, I've got to say it though. I did not do the stitch correct compared to the one I wrote as the stitch of the month. So for this one, I have 1 loop on my thumb, and you're going to be picking up, you're working over the next 4 loops. I can see I spliced here, so it's a bit fuzzy. So if I find my loops first, 1, let's see. I might have pulled this too. Let's see, there's 1 there, 2. What'd you get in your hand? Oh, you have the yarn there. I can move the yarn, so you don't have to hold it. Here, flip through chat and see what things we got to make. There's a lot of people to say hi to too. Because we've been ignoring a lot of chat. We got to get to it. There was lots to talk about. Sure enough, I picked this up funny. I have to find my last 4 loops, and you do not want to mess up the row on this one. Should have had better lighting here. I think there's something, there it is, it's flipped down. Okay, so 1, that might be the one. There we go. This is first one, second one, 3rd loop, and I think there's a 4th one hiding in here somewhere. It is worth it to get this. Actually, it looks like I have a hole. I wonder if I pulled the last one too big. So I'm going to unpick that one because I'm not sure. Just a minute. Better to get it right, because I actually, when I was casting on this one, now it's stuck on my gimbal. There we go. When I was casting on this one, I actually had to cut off about the first 10 stitches because I got my loops twisted and it showed. But that's like the nice thing about needle binding. If your start doesn't look good, just cut it off and then just keep going, and no one will ever know that your first stitches were in the wrong order. But this one, you want to be in the right order, because you'll have like a big loose loop if you don't. I could tell I was falling asleep while doing this last night. Okay, let's see. There we go. That might be easier. First loop. And it's funny because I spliced my yarn right there. 2nd loop. 3rd loop. And there's the 4th. Okay. So when you go to Nylock.fi and look this one up, she has 1 on her thumb, and then she loosens the 4 stitches by lifting them up a bit, which is good. See, it's stuck in a way there. I have to put this in my eyes to see it. 1, 2, I picked a dark yarn, didn't I? 3. I can't see it. It's too far away from me. 1. What do you see in chat there, Karl? There we go.
I see a lot of things, but I'm confused and slightly drunk.
Oh God, no. What did you... Okay, what are you confused about?
Basically, I see Raymond is saying not for kids.
Oh, because of the cock and the rooster. Or the cock and the beaver, yeah. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4th one there if I can see it correctly. Yeah. I think I have that wrong though, but I'll just pick it out anyway. But for the looks of it, you have to have the 4 loops in a row. It's just that I have it so dark I can't see. 1. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be right. I don't think so because I have this cross stitch here, so they're a cross loop. Oh, this is gonna bug me. I want to do the stitch, but I can't because I can't see it.
A lot of people are congratulating you on your birthday.
Yay! I'm gonna be older. 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be about right. Karl's getting older too. 1 week later. Okay, I think that looks completely wrong. Oh well, let's just pretend I have it right. I'm just gonna pick it out later. So you would have 1 loop here, and then your next 4 loops here. It's that 4th one that keeps falling down. I was rocking on this thing yesterday, just was going through like mad. But I don't think that's right. It's gonna drive me absolutely, no, it's not. Ah, okay, I'm picking it out, fuck it. Let's see. Because if you, like I said, if you do it wrong, I mean, it's worth dicking with it, because if you do it wrong, you get a big loop sticking out. And you can't do that. But it's because I joined this right on a splice, I can't see. Okay, then I gotta get my needle loose from my yarn. Let's see. And then we're just gonna pick it out a bit so I can find it. That's where my fuzz was, that was making it hard to find. And then easier way to pick out is grab from the bottom left. Just remember, folks, I'm perfect. It's my OCD. This has to be right. Nope, that one tightened wrong. There it is. And then one more just because I yanked the crap out of that. That's easier to see. Now you can see the loops. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one is here. Those are the loops we're working over. The first one goes on your thumb, and then put it on my thumb. Then the first one, second one, third one, fourth one behind that. So you're going to take this one away and go behind those 3, 4, or 2, 3, and 4 from away. And then go back out over that one. And then under and under. If you're going to do this stitch the right way, though, it'll have a plaited edge. So the right way would be you'd go under this one. But I'm ignoring it and going this way. And then you pull through. And of course, I didn't connect to the previous row because I'm an idiot. So we'll have to do that again. So it's also F1 for the correct name of that stitch. But I'm going F2 because I want it to be a bit denser. And then you got the first loop here. Second loop, you kind of hold it on your thumb there. Pick 3, 4, and 5. And then you pick it from the back side. And then you go under that first loop again. And through. So there we go. This one we're going to spend all month on it. So if you don't get it this time, it's understandable. But there is, if they haven't linked it, you can find it on her page. So you can take the first loop behind you. Pick 2, 3, and the third, the fourth, and the fifth loop from behind. Then go back over the second loop and under the first loop. I think I dropped one there. I did. This is always easier to do without an audience. One more time. F1, F2, but it's actually supposed to be F1. Second loop goes behind the others. Pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 loop go on there. And then you go back around the second loop again. And then under. And the correct way is there. Oh, I hear the foghorn from the bridge horn. No, it's something else. Okay. Might be, the train. Yeah, we have a train that goes all the time too. So it's the coal trains, taconite trains. Okay, this was not the easiest stitch to do, hugging a gimbal, but we're doing it. 3 there, go back out the second one, and then... But Nylock and Tot's video is really nice for that one. There you go. And these ones, they look loose at first, but as you go, because you're binding 5 loops in every time as you go, it'll get tighter and tighter. You don't want to pull it too tight, though, because this is going to get really weird. There, Nella says 1 + 1 + 2 is a 4-loop stitch. You shouldn't need 5 loops for it. No, this one is the one that I linked on hers. She has 3. I think it's 1 + 1 + 3 is the one, unless I linked the wrong one. Because there you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she takes this one up, goes behind 3. Maybe I linked the wrong stitch. Crap, what am I doing? But it should be 1 + 1 + 3, I believe. And then I had F2, which I didn't connect here. But that's the one maybe I've got the long one linked. If that's the case, I got to go back and edit. I'm screwing everybody up, but they're done the same way. But if that's the case, then you would need 1, 2, 3, 4 loops, not 5. And then you would be picking up the second loop and going just behind 2 more. But that would be slightly less dense than what I picked up here. So, because I did 5. So I'm doing everything wrong today. But anyway, so I have the one that goes up, goes behind these 3, and then over, and then over. And then, of course, it's supposed to have a plaited edge. But my plaited edge always makes the end row really goofy, so I didn't do it. Okay. So Well, look at that one. Did I write 1 + 1 + 2 in the description? Then I have to change it. It could be a variant of the ool stitch. Yeah, it's kind of similar. But yeah, that's what I did. I'll go and edit the thing because I thought I don't know. Maybe this is what happens when I'm jet lagged and tired at the same time. But that's what I did is 1 + 1 + 3, and I did not do a plaited edge, and I did an F2 join instead of an F1. But they're all done similarly. It's just a matter of which. But the biggest thing is to not mess up your loop order, because if you do, bad things will happen. But it's Halloween this month, so hey. Okay, so in Pulljärvi, stitch is traditionally done flat. You could do this one flat. I gotta think that one out though. Okay, so if I hate working flat because my gauge is all over the place if I do. So you do if I did F2, you would go over that one. Over that one, you'd have to go in those 3 and then under the first 2 and under that one too, or did I do that backwards? I've got to think about this one flat. Let's see if I had. Now you're working my brain here, Max. Okay, so this one would go that way. Those 3. It would look like that flat. And then, yeah. But check out the one on Nylock and Tot. I'll put the link in there so that you can see how I did it. But I'm going to pick these up and clean it up when I have better lighting. Hopefully I kept that on camera, though. One more. So if it would have been this way, behind 3, because that's what I did, it would look like that. And I did not connect it to the previous row yet to show that. Maybe I do this with a lighter yarn, too. Okay. Anyway, so Karl.
Yep.
What else did we make you do? You survived the Mall of America. Do you want to talk quickly about that? Because we most of that got off camera last week.
Yeah, that was the laser tag thing.
The laser tag. Yeah, we did laser tag. How was that, by the way? 50-year-olds running around with guns.
That was, I think I was we were the only 50 years old.
No, my little brother's is actually 1 week older, or 1 month older than you.
Okay.
So he's 49. You're gonna be 49 on the 13th. Yeah. So Karl's got a birthday coming up too. Let's see.
Yeah, no, we kept getting murdered by children.
Oh God, yeah. But there was a Hispanic family there, and I could speak Spanish, so that was fun.
But the idea was really cool. You have a headband with sensors on it, and then you have some sensors on your gun, and you move around and try to shoot the other team. And it's like exactly the opposite of everything you learn when it comes to gun safety. So you have your finger on your trigger, and you're sweeping the gun around all the time. And I kept getting killed by children because when I go through a door, I have my gun up here and I'm using the aim, and I'm expecting somebody about my height to be on the other side of the door. But when it's somebody that are, how tall is Matthew approximately?
Matthew, he's under 4 feet.
Yeah, so I keep having small children that are under my line of sight. So I go through a door and then I just hear bang, 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 bang. From right down here. They're basically standing on my toes and shooting me in the face. So I think I did pretty well against the adults, but the kids kept murdering me.
Oh, I had fun. I thought we need to get one of these at work. Run around in the evening in the Viking village with little glowing headbands and killing each other. I would be so thin. I was sweating bullets, but it was so fun. I actually wanted to run and kick his ass. Oh, one thing I found though too, I'm sitting there hiding around trying to shoot, and it turned out that if I saw where somebody was, they would also do the same thing. They would like try to shoot and then they would hide. And then I thought, fuck this shit. I charged them. Got them every time. They did not see that coming. Yeah. Big fat lady go, woo!
The weapons are not super precise. And I came through one door and one guy on the opposing team smacks me in the nose with the barrel of his gun. And after that, I basically got better. Because now I was so angry that I didn't even try to use... I didn't even try to use cover and all this shit. I was just walking around pointing at people and pulling the trigger. And that worked better for me.
Oh, rage worked for me. All of a sudden I went up 16 kills. I still lost horribly, but it was great. By the way, I thought for a minute here when we were driving up to Duluth, I thought we started sneezing, or at least I started sneezing, and my nose was running. And I thought for sure that I was getting allergies, but I was trying to think, what in the hell is going that allergies? It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive anyway. So I thought. Then the next day it was more nasal. The third day the nasal stops, but then I start coughing, and we've been coughing for a couple days. So I think we actually got
feel
sick.
like a teenager again.
You're feeling like a teenager again?
I was awake for about maybe 20 minutes before YouTube,
Yeah.
and now I'm drunk.
Okay, so I'm going to go over a few comments here. Oh, and by the way, yes, congratulations, Heidi Lisa. Heidi Lisa is an aunt because Runa and Louisa had their baby. So I see that she says, Hudstricker Massa for Ola. So Ola is the name. I wasn't sure what they named the boy, but his name is Ola, and she's knitting lots of things for him.
I draw the same conclusion from the same context clues.
Yeah, you did? Okay. I didn't know what they named him because he was literally born right before we left. Yeah. So we kind of missed it. Let's see. Then I wanted to read some of Nella's comments on here because this is a good one to see. She can see this from a better perspective than I can.
Sounds like, the last part of the chat sounds like first graders arguing about math.
No, but they're right. I'm wrong because I did this. I shouldn't have done this late at night, but I actually, anyway, but I'll have to correct it because I went with 1 + 1 + 3. I must have linked or wrote the wrong thing. I went onto her page, looked for the Russian stitch, tried to find one that Max was talking about, and I either clicked the wrong link. I don't know, but it is. I am doing 1 + 1 + 3, and the one that I read was supposed to be a plaited edge and was supposed to be a 1, but I chose not to do a plaited edge, and so I have to correct it. So the stitch of the month is correct, but any variation of that Russian stitch you could do. So. It'll be okay for this month. Let's see. PJ's almost finished with the sock that working on for the last 2 months. Good job. I have the dreaded one sock syndrome. Nella said it's marling or marled knitting. That's the blanket that I was showing earlier that my mom said was actually a temperature blanket. Nella said also plaited edge works best with 1 connection stitch. That might be why, because I liked mine with the F2, so that might be why I just didn't like plaited edge on it. Sometimes I do, but not in this case. Raymond says I do something similar, but always put the jog behind my right ear. Not sure why I do it that way. And there he's referring to that I always tend to put the jog on my outer side of my wrist on that little bump there. I think it's just so I know which way to put them on. I don't know. But I never thought about that on a hat, where to put that little jog. And some people hate it, and they try to hide it as best they can. I actually like that little jog because that's a telltale sign of needle binding. Although you can do that jog with crochet too. I didn't tie my end in yet. This is just a really short string because I cut it. Because I screwed up at first. Maybe I was doing the right stitch and switched to the wrong one automatically. I don't know what the hell I did. Anyway, but yeah, so it's 1 + 1 + 3. We have to make that very clear. And Raymond linked everything because he likes a good secretary, and he's very good at that. He's a perfect little bunny. There's Nella correcting me, quite rightly so. And yeah, it is worked a little bit similarly to Ulu. But then Max brings up that in Plaited stitch, if I'm totally screwing up that name, is traditionally done flat. And if it's 1 + 3 that does not have a name, then I definitely looked at the wrong video. So we're doing 1 + 1 + 3, people. I don't know what. Okay, I'm gonna own this. And then they go back and forth, correcting quite quickly. Let's see. Also, Robert put the colors of the month in there too in the chat if you want to see that for which. But this month is Burgundy because that's the yarn I have. I looked at Mom's stash and I need this. When we get home, I can show you some of the leftover yarns my mom put in that bin. But right now they're all packed in a suitcase because we're leaving Duluth on Tuesday morning. Which means next week we can probably go back to a Saturday more or less. But we'll be in Gudvangen again. But we'll post that with a little bit of notice so we know. Let's see. And then they're talking more about the stitches here. And Mela said, well, personally, I think that instead of giving a separate name to each stitch, we should only have the family names and then specify the numbers within the groups. Okay, it's Russian stitch. Correct, it's Raymond. No, it'll be Russian. We'll just go with Russian. I think we might have done I don't know if we've done another Russian stitch this year for the stitch of the month, but we'll go Russian stitch. You can choose which one. They're all kind of work the same way. But that is actually, Ula was a Russian stitch, is it not? Where you go back and then forward again. Telemark and Dolby are also a Russian style stitch.
I see that needle binding destroys your knowledge of geography.
Yeah, no, ignore the names and ignore, because the Finnish stitches have some other names and the Russian stitches have some other. It's nothing to do with the region. For some odd reason, it's just the way that the stitch does. So if you work it like Oslo, it's in the Finnish family. If you're flipping the stitches in the back loop, it's a Russian
in
stitch.
Finland and Telemark is in Russia.
That's right. This is not. You do not learn geography with needle binding.
But
there's the family of stitches. Then there's the turning stitches, and then there's the ones that just don't have a group. Anne said, just in time for this winter, no more cold shoulders. She's finally finished a capelet started 2 years ago based on a pattern from Karin. It's in chunky wool. Oh, did you do one of those cowls that are kind of long? I made one at home. I got to finish that one. Well, I mean, I haven't decided if I wanted to make it longer or not, but I haven't showed it yet. It's done in Oslo stitch, Finnish family. And then he's drunk. With some really nice thick single ply yarn that Maria Lindhale has plant dyed. And so it's got some oranges and greens and whites in there. And I bought it at the Needle Binding Festival, so I can't wait to show it. But it's about this big now. It's a cowl with an extra tall cowl here, and it kind of goes out a bit. And
woman,
I'm elbowing him in the nuts.
Where is your elbow?
Not for children. Garcia says, sorry, I have to go now. Enjoy your birthday. Amarai says, for the Christmas calendar. Oh, yeah, that one. Okay. Oh, yeah, the one that I made him. The one that I made him model. Count Nalbinding, or what did we call you? Nalbinding, Count Nalbinding. That was...
No, that wasn't it, but...
That was a capelet, but that's done this way. And I think it was in some shawl from Outland or something that they had made her a capelet, which I thought was so cool. So I had to do it in needle binding. I want to make another one. Having way too much fun. Anne is nodding at me. She wrote it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to figure out what it was. Congratulations on finishing that one. That was such a fun project to do. It took forever, though. So I'm glad I started that one early November. And that reminds me the Christmas calendar is coming up again. If you want to submit a pattern to Maria's Christmas calendar, she's got a group for it. Or just send her a message. She's always looking for some patterns. If she gets a lot of them, she can feature more days in December, but if she only gets a few, then she's going to do one per week on each Sunday. So, and I have to think of what to do with that one. But I've got Mom's stash, so the end, it's not for children, says Raymond. Okay, I hope I didn't ignore too much of the chat, but it was really, it was fun to be back on. It was fun to have a stable length.
Apparently Peruda is doing something interesting.
Why a crow with all the bunnies on that quilt? Actually, I don't know why. I'm gonna have to ask her. Probably, I mean, every quilt has a story, so that one's probably based on, I would think, on a children's story. And then you said Peruda wrote something interesting for you?
It's on the very beginning, before we logged on. She said that she was giving you the temperature in Poland. And
yeah, because she moved from South Africa to Poland.
And she said that she had visited a castle that was built by the Knights Hospitalers.
Hospitalier.
Oh, I'm starting to get Roger syndrome.
Yeah.
I can't say hospitable.
You can't say hospitable. Oh my God, we spent like a half an hour trying to teach Roger how to say, Roger, otherwise known as Fjaller, how to say hospitable. Hospitable. He was everywhere. That was funny. Yeah, no, there she writes, we visited a medieval castle built by knights in a hospitalier. And then I hope Max got the question answered about Korea and Japan Nalbinding, because I don't know that one. Robert Reynolds is here, by the way. He says you can take Karl to see the Wild playing the Blue Jackets on Thursday. I'd love to, but Thursday I think we're actually landing or starting back at work, actually.
This is a sporting thing, right?
It's hockey.
Yeah, it will be very
I took him through, when we go through the Skywalk, we started down by the Deck Arena, which is now called Amsoil Arena, or God knows what. Anyway, because I wanted to see the curling in there, and those little viewing areas where you can look down and see people doing curling or practicing ice skating, figure skating. The curtains were closed, couldn't see it. It was disappointing. But it would be fun. And then, yes, Susan was here from Adirondacks, which was good to see. Arlene says people decorate all year round with different color lights, so it's appropriate for the present holiday. I like that. And then everybody's giving Raymond credit for staying up way, way late because he's in upside down land, and that's really upside down compared to United States. He's actually been walking every day this month, raising money for the RFDS, Royal Flying Doctor Service down here. Oh, that's so cool. So if anybody wants to help support him, look that one up. Men in Kilts Can Spin says, yeah, sure, you betcha. Because I said, oh, for sure, winter's coming. You gotta pull in the Aqua, man.
Considering the distances in Australia, I would say that flying doctors is kind of like a must for them.
This is a sporting thing, says Robert. It's hockey, you moron. It's a sporting thing. There, do you feel better?
Is it not a sport?
It's a sporting thing. No, there's only one sport in Minnesota. It's called hockey, and then we have hockey, and then we have curling, which is kind of fun too. It's the excuse that Norwegians use to wear plaid. Okay, the curling team.
So the Minnesota Vikings done is a hockey team.
Huh?
So the Minnesota Vikings done is a hockey team.
No, Minnesota Vikings is football. You only care about that.
That's not sport.
Yeah, no, hockey. We're in Duluth now. And then Max writes, Tornado. I wonder about that. Actually, there could be. Oh, and then Kiwi was drinking pumpkin spice iced coffee with needle binding at their first yarn spun by her spinning wheel. Congratulations. It's a mix of merino wool and camel. There's something about, there's a little method of pride or whatever, good feeling of pride when you make something with the yarn you spun yourself.
Oh, they have alcoholic iced coffee over there.
Oh, yeah. Dunkin' Donuts.
I love the concept. I hate the way they have done it.
Okay, explain, because I can't try
this. It's way too much alcohol. So the iced coffee is like 6%, and it certainly tastes like somebody just poured some vodka in your iced coffee. I can't drink it. It's not good.
Oh, there's more here. And then it's an area partly Finland and partially Sweden. Oh, Tornedal. Okay, I didn't know that one, actually. I think I was probably saying it wrong. Tornedal. Tornedal. Look, it's there. It's spelled. Pretend you have glasses. Tornedal. So is that Pingu? No, that wasn't Pingu. Okay, keeping looking here. Don't show too much from the book. Don't show too much for the book, though. You don't want to break the stream again. The 1972 gun book we were looking at. He's really good at breaking my stream. We're going to blame last week on him, too. But actually, that was Norwegian telephone service not updating. It took 3 hours to kick in the fact that I put in more. So if you didn't see it, we did manage to connect for about 15 minutes a couple hours later. And it is listed under the lives on YouTube, on my lives, but
it's about 1 hour.
No picture, no nothing. Yeah, maybe a little over an hour later. But yeah, it's just like a little 15-minute where we're walking through.
Did you ever upload thing?
No, we have to do that, but I have to go in and edit because we couldn't go. When we're filming, when we're live, we can turn the camera so it goes forward like that and backwards like that. But when you're filming off screen, you can only record this way. And then you have to stop, and then you can record that way, and then you have to stop, and you record this way. So there's a little bit of editing I got to do before I can upload it. Yeah. And that requires a bit more concentration than I have right now, because I keep seeing things like, yarn! Okay, let's see what else can we get through. The little bunny's room, I like that. Raymond says, I logged on expecting some beer and a bit of Nalbinding binding, and instead I get an amazing quilt show. Oh yeah, no, we're at Mom's house now. Nellis is like batik is covered term for several different dye techniques based on preventing color getting everywhere. Yes, like the knots or the wax. Yeah, or wax. That's correct. Thank you for putting that one correctly because my brain is fried at the moment. Let's see, yeah, and all that stuff was made by my mom. She's gonna smother you with one of those fabulous things she made. Well, she did. I have to go through the stuff and find some stuff I need to take home. She's got a bunch of shawls too that were made. Let's see. I think I pretty much caught up. There's a lot that I've missed, but we got most of it. Then I will. Oh yeah, iced coffee is foul even without vodka. So the iced coffee, it turns out some of it was not lattes or whatever that you wanted, or frappuccino. That one was the Starbucks one you kind of liked, that's in the jar. But it's iced espresso, and it was like this big thing that's equal to 4 of our milk containers, this big plastic thing, and that's just for one. And then you need to get the creamer with the flavor to go with it so he can survive it. And it's also like this big ass shampoo size bottle. It's like huge. I mean, man, we have been working on those for all week and we still aren't even.
Yeah, no,
I mean, everything is big.
The first shop we stopped at when we got here was the Super Target
Super
up
Target,
in
yeah.
St. Paul. And they have an enormous amount of iced coffee. And Karin, being jet-lagged and probably just a little bit silly, buys basically everything.
Yeah, we got a lot of time now.
I found out a few things about iced coffee that I probably would have been able to guess without trying. For instance, that oat milk is not milk and should not ever be in iced coffee.
There's almond milk too.
Yeah, I'm not willing to try that. It's like the meme where God is basically standing there with a frown on his face and going, okay, I gave you cows and goats, and you assholes are milking oats and almonds.
No, so that was fun, and I was all set for my pumpkin spice latte, by the way, elbow. I was super excited to get one, and then I get to Starbucks, and I see apple crisp latte. So I had to get one of those, which is made with oat milk, and I'm thinking, oh God, no, I just did like this vegan thing. And, well, you know, when you make apple crisp, you have to use oats, not that crumble stuff, that bread crumble that Greg makes. It's got to be oat. British are screwing it up. But anyway, you use oatmeal and you use brown sugar and things when you make apple crisp. So it kind of makes sense that they would use oat milk to make this apple crisp latte thingy because it does have a very, I don't know, oatmeal flavor. Imagine that. It was really, really good. So I've been drinking apple crisp lattes for the most part of the stay here. Okay, Tim Hortons iced cappuccino is the best. Too bad you're not in Canada. We were almost in Canada, but I think things have probably changed about, well, I haven't been to Canada about 20 years. It's just, I mean, about an hour as a crow flies, but 3 hours off if you're driving up the North Shore along the coast of Lake Superior. But, oh, that was another thing. Anyway, you might have to have a special visa to go over, because usually what I just did when I had other people visiting before is we'd stop at the border. Do they have all their papers? Okay, then we can go over. But apparently even the Americans from Minnesota need a passport to go over the border. So we could have checked him to try to go over just so he could, you know, step a foot into Canada. But my mom didn't have her passport on her. She only had the driver's license on it. And back in the day, we used to cross with just the driver's license. So we didn't. That's a Minnesota thing, by the way.
It's Minnesota and Louisiana.
Not every state, but Minnesota and Louisiana, yeah.
Louisiana won't be bothered so much by it because they're on the opposite side of the country. But it's everybody else can just show their driver's license and drive into Canada. But not Minnesota and Louisiana because it was too expensive.
Apparently it's politics. So, because Canada is quietly building a hedge to keep Americans out of their country. There was the other thing too, elevation. How do you feel about the elevation in... Okay, so when we came into the metro areas, so Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington, etc., it's like flat and the sun was in your eyes all the time because it's one big horizon. The sun is constantly setting at this time of year. But now you've come north, you've seen Duluth. What are your thoughts?
Now the sky is maybe like 5% smaller. It makes very little difference.
No, but then we actually,
sensibilities.
I mean,
but
I wouldn't call it a mountain, but because it's not a mountain. There's not a mountain there, although I've heard that it's part of a, it's like the very end of a mountain range. I don't know. I've always compared it to Sweden as it's rocky
Well,
and hilly.
I accept the locals using the term mountains because as far as geographical features around here goes, this is pretty big. But in Norway, it would be barely noticeable, and nobody would refer to it as a mountain.
Speed bump.
Yeah.
No. But you can see why is Duluth, if you're going across the top of the hill, that's one thing. But if you're starting at the bottom and coming up, you're going to have some issues with ice trying to drive up the thing. But and then as we got closer to Silver Bay, then you can see real proper that, and you see the Palisades and things. But it's still, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a mountain, but it's mountain rock. Yeah.
In Norway, no. Around here, yes, I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The Palisades, what are they, like?
Big cliffs.
40 meters tall.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
They are kind of impressive cliffs, but they're also the tallest thing for miles and miles around. But in Norway, they are like, okay, tiny cliffs that you probably wouldn't even bother putting a name on if they were in a Norwegian fjord somewhere. And if they had a name, it would be something like Gustav Steinen or something like that.
Yeah, the names you were noticing were getting more and more Scandinavian as you were going north. But the other thing I was going to write on here, Anne Monroe says, I like oatmeal, such a comforting taste. Are you changed on the oatmeal thing?
No.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Sorry, Anne, I tried. Okay, and then Nell writes the, oh my God, she writes the Torno Odal thingy. Tornio Yukialak. I don't know, I'm not even going to try to get that. It's in the chat, you have to read it. Tornio Yukilaksu. And then you have to say it in Finnish, so Tornio Likilora.
I've told the story about my mother reading The Lion King for
yeah, tell that one again, it's been a while.
For her granddaughter. And my mother is not, she wasn't super up to date when it comes to Disney and that sort of thing. So she's reading the story. It's a Norwegian translation of the Lion King book. And then she comes to Hakuna Matata. And she pronounces it like Hakuna Matata. And then she looks up and says, what the fuck, is it Finnish?
So Nella's got secrets over there. Hakuna Matata! That's right up there with mayonnaise, which is apparently the German way of saying mayonnaise. And Arlene says, they were asking, Max was wondering, do they have Tim Hortons here in America? I don't actually know. I've not heard of that one before. So I'm going to I'll ask my mom. We're coffee snobs in this family, so she would know. Yeah.
Based on media, I would say no, that sounds like a completely Canadian thing. Because in media, the Americans are talking about it as a Canadian thing.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, so I'll check this out, but that would be fun to find out. Arlene says only a couple, but I'm not sure which states. So apparently they do, but yeah, where? Men in kilts can spin. This is Alaska, of course. There are places in Alaska where they need a passport to get groceries in Canada where they did not before. Oh, that's really quite interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that. Usually it's over here in Minnesota, it's the Canadians that are crossing the border to go and shop at Sam's Club and Costco in Duluth. So in the summertime, we didn't see when we were there now because it's fall, but in the summertime, it's just the whole lot is just filled with RVs. And then Arlene says, I'm glad you can say that. I was having a heck of a time. Maybe after a month they can calm down on border restrictions, writes Arlene. And then Laura WJ says, I'm from Colorado, where with many 14,000 peaks. When I lived in Minnesota, I called the Minnesota mountain hills as the mountains in Minnesota are like Colorado's foothills. I would agree with that. Yeah. I would struggle. I've never heard the word mountain used in reference to the rock in northern Minnesota, but my mom had mentioned that some people are actually referring it as like the end of a mountain range, and I struggle with that one because
the thing we were driving along when we.
But it's mountain rock. Yeah.
The thing we were driving along, I would accept that was probably a mountain chain at some point, but it's like 200 million years ago. Yeah. So it's been eroding.
That's why I compare it to northern Sweden, because it's kind of like got the residue of a Norwegian mountain in it, whatever rolled far enough across the border.
I would say that Kaja and Bjørnar would probably feel right at home here, because
your
it's
brother-in-law and your sister, yeah.
It's like southern Norway. everything is, their landscape is a little bit more wild than what you see around here, but the dimensions is much the same.
Laura says, we call them 14ers. I like that. I'm learning something new. 14,000 foot peaks. They call them 14ers. I like that. Nella says, Hakuna with 2 Ks would mean as a pickaxe. So the Lion King has got a lot more Halloween in it than I'm aware of. And then Robert says, nope, we have a Timmy's here in Scotland. Okay, so maybe this is just America that needs to get on board and get some more of these. Kiwi says, Tina, which is the one that makes your, it looks like Tyne in writing, by the way. But Tina, which is the one that makes your iced coffee, says, they have started selling pumpkin spice latte, and it's yummy, especially in my pretty new clay cup. That's right, they did! Yeah, those little iced coffee things, because we found one right before we got on the plane over here, and you bought me one. One had to go in the garbage because we didn't manage to drink it before we went through check-in, but I did have one right before, but it was 4 a.m., so I'm sorry, I completely forgot, I have no idea if it was good or not. And then Raymond says, I got a new bag. It's called an Askare by Savota. I have to look that up. A-S-K-R-E. Okay, that came up with something completely different. A-S-K-R-E. Savota. Oh, there it is. Fanny pack. Oh. It's like a military fan pack on you. But so now the cool way is wearing one over your shoulder so it goes under your arm and has nothing to do with your ass. Or so I've been told by my kids. That's got a lot of pockets. Let's see. Amazon, I'll say, Arlene writes, New York, Texas, Minnesota, Georgia has Timmy's. Okay, well, Minnesota does. I just got to figure out where. It's probably in the Mall of America. They got everything. Amazon may sell it. It's starting to appear in shops here, but I have not tried it. Nella was wondering where it was made, and she's referring to the bag. Made in Finland. I wonder if maybe Nella knew the answer to that question when she asked it. So a little shout out to Finland, and that's interesting. They barely sell those there. PJ said, I'm so bad at ordinary knitting. I can't finish the sock until I remind myself how to cast off. Well, normally I would work these in tandem, but because of the way that I'm trying to continue the color in the yarn, this is not a sock, of course, but wrist warmer, so there will be 2. I'm actually having to keep notes and do one at a time. And hopefully I'm not more stressed by the time I do the second one, so the gauge stays the same. Because that's a great way to end up with a one sock syndrome where you just do one and like, okay. My mom's doing some sock of the month thing, and she's also having issues with finishing the second sock. Oh, PJ was referring to the pumpkin spice. Okay, so anyway, hopefully next week I will be able to figure out how to turn the camera this way so I don't have to elbow Karl in order to show on YouTube. So I don't have to be in the shot with him. We'll try to, I have no idea. It's because it's the new iPhone. It's iPhone 16. So, but at least the pictures are clear. And then we hope we're going to aim for Saturday. We'll have been home for a couple of days by then, but we might be jet lagged to hell.
I think we should be all right.
Yeah, it's the other way around. When you first get here, you can't stay awake. But when you get home, you can't sleep at a normal time. You just like, and then you got to go to work, and you're like, okay. Samantha gets the one mitten syndrome all the time with Nalbinding. Oh yeah. Now you got to work them in tandem. If you don't do a little, you do one part on one, and then you start the same. You do one part on the other, and then you go back and forth. That's the. This is good for you too. Anyway, so then you, then you'll be able to finish them. If you do one whole one at a time, you'll never finish it otherwise. Okay. But anyway, we're going to go. But this has been really fun. We went an hour and a half to kind of make up for our screw up last week. I will still try to get the little edited clips where we're outside the state capitol. But I got to say, doing this without you guys is really, really hard.
Yeah,
Holy
we
crap.
don't want to do that. Because
no, it's much easier with a live audience because we can, it's like sitting and bitching with you guys. I love it.
We need...
we had a hard time doing that without live audience.
We need the little Duracell bunny that operates our brain to have the chat to interact with. Mm-hmm. If it's just the two of us, it's like...
I can't live with him without you.
It's like...
You guys make our relationship work.
Yeah. No, we kind of need to do this live. We can't do this in... We could maybe make a product that was like that, but it would be a hell of a lot more work than this.
Yeah, no, that's why this is free. We do it for free. Anyway, because it's fun and you guys make us sane. Oh, James is working on a new technical called Powhatan cordage. Yeah, you had wrote that. I gotta look up what that is. That'll be interesting to see. I learned so much here. Oh, they love being here with y'all, said Samantha. I like that. That's cute. Safe travels and be with you next week. Yeah, we're only gonna take 2 flights back, but I've got apple chip things in the bag, so we'll be fine.
We're traveling with the stupid Air Germans again.
Oh, Karl's not happy with Lufthansa, but that's like a whole new... You'd need a whole hour to listen to him bitch about Lufthansa. But yes, we're flying home with Lufthansa, not once, but twice. We're going through New York and then Munich.
Oh, whoop-de-da.
I got apple tags in my bags. We'll be fine. The quilts will make it home.
I sense the beginning of a new world war.
Yeah. And then we'll figure out how to turn the camera so I don't have to keep elbowing you in the balls. Just, okay. Anyway.
Blaming the camera for that.
It's 12:30 and Karl's pissed drunk. We're going to have to go get him some more iced coffee, but don't worry, we've got like 4 gallons left. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, there we go.